So my apologies for the slower uploads in the last couple days. My main device that I use for recording did kick the bucket, so that had to be fixed. Now I did lose a lot of recordings that I had, and when I say a lot of, I mean all of them, because basically a new operating system had to be installed on this device. But now it's back. And on the good side, the new operating system is working flawlessly. Very surprised to see the performance increased by a lot, and some of the things that I used are enhanced now, and I will show you a couple things that I run on this device. Basically things that I use to make the game look better. Not really sure if you notice a lot of difference. Now, I would like to show you the options that I use to make the game look better and to make the game run better. Most devices nowadays have a form of Game Turbo or Game Center, and this is how it looks on my device, and these are my options. Now that was on the surface level. Of course, this device has something more. So I have the custom options, and here I can modify the frame rate. I have a lot of other options to play around with, and well, most of the time I have everything basically maxed out. And no issues with the game. I have the same thing, well, I had the same thing on my alt account before it got banned, and so far this is basically what made the game look so good. But anyways, let's go back to the game, and let's go back to the Macarial. So I have been flying this ship for over 3 years now, and recently I also started to fly the Megatron Striker, both fantastic ships. Now the Macarial here has the same good old layout. I use the same layout on the Megatron Striker, seems to be working really well. Now as for the Nano Core, well, I haven't upgraded this yet. I have plans to go to level 3. Now recently someone asked me about the price of the Megatron Striker. Now currently on the market I believe there is none of these ships available. I bought the only one for 1.5 billion that I will show you later. My skills currently are a bit better for the Macarial. I'm still working on some things for the Megatron Striker, but overall I'm quite satisfied with the DPS on this ship. Of course, with the implant the DPS does go higher a little bit, but it's because I have the barrage implant, so the DPS on the Macarial will be a little bit higher than the DPS on the Megatron Striker. Now let's quickly take a look at the price of this Macarial. The IP cost, it's about 4 billion. Now this has been going up and down a lot recently. It used to be 3.3 billion, now it's 4.07 billion, not really sure what's happening with that. And now let's take a look at the price of the Megatron Striker. It should be a lot cheaper. If it ever happens that I lose this ship, then I'm not going to be worried a lot, because that's one of the reasons why I got the Megatron. 2.6 billion, this is the IP cost of this thing. It's really not much. Definitely a lot cheaper than the Macarial, but it can have higher DPS. Now let's quickly take a look at the market cost, because I'm fairly sure, yeah, there is none of these ships on the market, but there is one by order for 1 billion. I bought this ship for 1.5 billion. I will show you that in the wallet. As for the Macarial, the price did drop quite a bit. This ship used to be 3.8 billion, 4 billion. Now it's about 2.5 billion, 2.7 billion. You can take a look at the buy orders as well. Not really sure why the price did go down. The Macarial still is one of the nastiest ships for PvP, and overall the barrage implant is still terrifying. Now let me find the market order that I have for the Megatron Striker, because I know a lot of you are curious about that. 1.52 billion, well, not bad. and that's the Megatron Striker. Not really sure why they are so rare. I thought that these ships are definitely going to be more popular, but I got I got this ship for 1.5 billion, and I think that's a pretty good price. The first Striker that I bought was 1.7 billion, and it was also the only one on the market available. Well then, let's go to the Macarial. After all, today it will be time to have some fun with the Macarial. Overall, I really enjoy flying this ship. It's a oversized cruiser, and that fact alone makes the Macarial a very good choice. So, we have a small fleet inside of a mission. They are playing bait. And of course, in the old-fashioned way, we are going to take the bait. Now, usually, I don't launch a battleship at a bunch of cruisers or battle cruisers, but since they are well prepared for PvP and since we are outnumbered, I did decide to go and take the Macarial. As you can see, I don't have a cloak, quad gyro stabilizers, because I have to delete those ships as quickly as possible, and every single second matters, so I can't really afford to run a clocking device in this situation. And we have warped. My friend warped first because my friend is in a cruiser. Okay, here we are. We have a Cinnabal, Ashimo, and one Tornado. Now the Ashimo will be primary because a Blood Raider ship can be dangerous. I have range, so I should be able to reach the Ashimo from this distance. Okay, Ashimo now into armor. The Cinnabal has been scrambled and webbed. Okay, the Ashimo has been deleted. They made me the primary target, as usual. The salt is real. Looks like the Cinnabal has one of the newer nanocores, and they did ignore my webs for a second, but not a big problem. Okay, Cinnabal has been deleted, and that leaves us with the last target. A Tornado. Let's approach the Tornado. They are at 60 kilometers, 58 kilometers, which is at the edge of my range. I should be able to do some damage to the Tornado at this distance. And the Tornado has been destroyed. Very nice work. Well then, let's warp out. This was a very nice fleet smash. Definitely a good choice. Definitely a good idea that I took the Macarial for this. And of course, salt in local as usual, because not like they were unaware of what could happen if they come to this system and if they try to camp. So let me turn on the audio first. I was wondering where the sound was confused why I couldn't hear anything. So let's take a look at the first kill, 1.3 billion Cinnabal, and the second one that I had, 2.2 billion Ashimo. And let's take a look at the Tornado, almost 600 million. All of them had warp core stabs. Interesting. Dual webs and a scrambler. The Voyage core. Okay, that explains why my web did not work for a while. And the Ashimo also had a similar build. And a lot of stuff in the cargo hold. Okay, let's go to the next target. We have one Apocalypse Striker. aligning towards the mission. We have 2 Macarials.
Fleet warp drive active.
Now, unfortunately, I did lose I actually lost all of my previous recordings that I had before the phone died, so I had to record everything, and most of these fights are actually fairly new. I had a lot of very good fights that unfortunately are lost, but I will show the kills and how we got to the kill later on. Okay, scrambled and webbed. Barraging plant is engaged, and this Apocalypse Striker is taking some heavy damage on the armor, and the Apocalypse Striker has been destroyed. That was a very good kill. And let's warp out. Now I figured out that this could have been a very good screenshot, and unfortunately I wasn't able to take the screenshot, but that would have been a very good thumbnail for this video. Okay, now I have no clocking device, so I will have to align myself towards the station. The Macarial can easily dock with timer. The only thing that must not happen is I must not lose connection. If I do lose connection, then I'm dead, but if you have stable connection, you can easily dock with timer, and this was a very good Apocalypse Striker. 2.8 billion overall. Definitely a good catch and a good kill. Next target, we have one Dominic's, I believe. Now this time I have my friend who will be the tackle. I am going to be the DPS. The Dominic's is tackled. They are using large drones, so the Garmor will be safe. The large drones on the Dominic's can't catch a small frigate. Barrage engaged, gyro stabilizers engaged. The Dominic's has been scrambled and webbed. They definitely have a lot of armor, or that's maybe a illusion because I don't have the wall gyro stabilizer setup, so my DPS will be a little bit lower because of the clocking device, but in any case, this was a solid catch. Let's warp out.
Warp drive active.
Now with this build I can easily cloak, so not a big issue. However, I still recommend that you don't fit a cloaking device on your battleship. I do it from a very specific standpoint and a very specific purpose, but in most of the cases it perhaps is not going to work well. 711 million, and overall not a bad kill. The Dominic's had an okay build, I would say, and I'm cloaked and I can wait for the criminal timer. Now we caught one Gila that logged out at the gate, and hopefully I arrive before the Gila gets destroyed. Although I usually would take a Cinnabal or something fast, but I did not have enough time to swap ships, so basically I haven't docked the first thing that I was in, and looks like the Gila is dead. Well then, I guess let's dock. Yeah, this Gila is very dead. That pilot will log in to a very nice surprise, that's for sure. Hasn't happened to me yet. I was never killed by logging out in space. I always dock when I log out. Now, here we are waiting for a bunch of other ships. I believe there is a Raven Striker lurking around at 70 kilometers. Oh, okay. There is a Raven Striker. And I would take this chance here to take some good screenshots for a thumbnail, hopefully. I have found out that having a thumbnail has been rather difficult in the last, I don't know, couple weeks, not really sure why. I was never really happy with how the pictures turned out to be, and I always found myself to change the thumbnails constantly, because somehow I was just never happy with how they looked. I thought to myself, I could make this look better, and well, I applied the same thing for the one after that, and things were going like that for a while. So, we have one Macarial in a mission, and I'm going to go and engage it. I have triple scramblers, quad gyro stabilizers. In this case, I will be attempting to catch this Macarial solo, because my alt is of course still banned, and who knows when I'll get access to that account back. So for now I have to rely on the good old solo, and I messed up with the warping. 42 kilometers from this Macarial. So let me see if I can try and approach. Well, guess not. They have warped out to the gate. Okay, well, let's dock and let's see if I get lucky the next attempt. Now this is one of the fights that I unfortunately did lose, but I will explain as to how we caught this this very salty pilot. You should have seen the local chat. It was the Saltman, again, not really sure why. So I left the system for 5 minutes, I returned, but looks like the moment I entered the system, they have warped out. So I have a couple of options. I can easily log out here and wait, but I don't really like to log out in space without my alt account, so that's definitely and probably not an option here.
Warp drive active.
So I kept trying to catch the Macarial on the warping in. Basically, I tried to time the moment from which they undock and warp to the moment when I land. That way, we land at the same time, and I can easily tackle the Macarial. But so far, I'm not getting lucky with that. I still have the same builds. Another thing that is a little bit troublesome here is the fact that we have a new wave spawn. So the Macarial warped in, killed the previous two ships, and they have spawned the next wave and they warped out. So those couple of ships might be a problem, because I'm trying to take as less damage as possible. After all, I have no tank, so I have to rely on the shield, armor and hull that I have in order to live long enough to shoot down the target. So I keep on repeating the same thing, and so far I'm quite confident that it will work, and later on in this video you will see what I'm talking about. So at this moment I believe one of my friends has logged in, and it looks like the Macarial is unaware that we are in a fleet. So now my friend is in the Macarial's mission, and they are lurking with a Stratius, and they are waiting for the Macarial to come back. Now I'm still attempting to go and catch the Macarial on the warping. It's actually very close to the gate. Usually the mission does spawn around the gate or around the stations or around the star, so you can technically
Warp
create
drive active.
perfect warp-ins for all possible scenarios, and I think that does require some explanation that I will do. I think if you live in a system where you have a lot of story runners, you can easily set up a perfect warp-in for multiple locations, and that is one thing that I plan to do. After all, it's very easy when you know where the mission can spawn.
We're under attack.
Now here, I did decide to go and camp a little bit, but in order to do that, I have to remove some of the ships that are annoying, and I'll start with the destroyer and then at the frigates. After all, I have to remove the tackle and webs from me,
We're under attack.
just in case. However, I'm taking damage, so if I'm not able to shoot them down fast enough, I'll have to warp away and jump through the gate in order to get my shield back. After all, I have no tank, and every single hit point matters when you have no tank. The one damage control is just a panic button that I don't use most of the time.
Warp drive active.
So I'm warping out and hoping that they come back. So I did catch the Macarial on undocking, but I think I'm running a couple seconds too late.
Warp drive active.
They're still in the system and they still are planning to finish the mission no matter what, so as long as they are in the system, I will keep attempting to catch them. My friend is also nearby. Basically, I believe only 2 ships are left. That Macarial does warp very fast, very quickly, so by the time I undock, they destroy a couple ships and they warp out, so not getting lucky with the moments when I undock. Well then, they're not here. Let me jump through the gate. They did land on 0. They always land on 0. It looks like an armored tank
Warp drive
Macarial.
active.
Doesn't look like to be that dangerous. Didn't look like they have a high level barrage implant. And they definitely don't have a full DPS build, so DPS wise I should be safe. Now eventually we did catch the Macarial, but unfortunately the recording of that was lost when the phone died, so let me quickly find the Macarial kill. There we go, it's this one, 4.5 billion. That was a pretty good kill. It was caught by my friends. He cloaked the tackle Stratius in the mission. I left system and the Macarial warped back, and well, the Macarial got caught. And of course, they were extremely salty in the chat for I don't know what reason, but that's just how things are. Triple warp core stabs, so definitely good choice that I took 3 scramblers, a clear sky nanocore, can burst and a collision. Now the only thing that I don't like about this ship is the tank. I would definitely go with a shield tank, or at least if you're going armor tank, go with dual armor repairs in order to compensate for the long cycle on the armor repairs. And dual armor repairs are definitely the way to go in low sec. But overall, was definitely a good catch. Took a while to catch that Macarial, but eventually, with enough effort, with enough time, and of course, with a good tactic and a good approach, we did manage to catch this ship. So this might have been a shorter Macarial run, and my apologies for that. After all, I know that I'm running a little late on the uploads, and I know that I lost so many recordings when the phone died. I had like, I don't know, like 300 recordings, and I had like 30 or 40 Macarial fights that I never uploaded that were really good. I had a couple more fights, like the first one where we crashed a camp, but unfortunately that was lost, and I guess I'll just have to play the game a bit more actively in order to record a lot more new fights. But with that being said, Hope that you guys enjoyed. Hope that you had a good time watching this Macarial roam, or well, MachAttack as I like to call it. So I love you all. Fly safe, stay safe, and as always, I'll see you next time.
Warp drive active.